Scott, everybody!
This one's a bit of a work in progress. I just want to say sort of, a few things first. It's influenced by Nietzschean sort of stuff about, hypnotization and the limitation of consciousness. And Peter Wessel-Zepf, who's a Norwegian Nietzschean nihilist sort of person, writes The Last Messiah in 1933, and he says that we limit our consciousness in 4 ways: isolation, the dismissal from consciousness of all disturbing and destructive thought and feeling, anchoring, a fixation of points within consciousness when adopting a goal. Anchoring spasms can occur when one clings to dead values. Distraction, that's the third one. Nothing finite satisfies at length. One is ever proceeding, gathering knowledge, making a career. And sublimation, when the pain of living is converted into valuable experiences. So it's about that limitation of consciousness. It's called Engström, which is a Norwegian word which can literally be translated as "do not think it's confusing." Yeah. Bunsen burns a quiet little hole in my pocket every payday. So when I go to grab my card, I feel the hairs on my legs stand up. A microcosmic rebellion telling me that something isn't right. The human consumer amusing intruders alluding to feuds fought ages ago. The battle was won, the banker has sons, so sit down and switch off. It's been a long month. You deserve to spend the odd quid. Takeaway, aching for a new book to read as well. Put a film or 2 in the basket while I'm at it. Indulge in a sentimental purchase here and there, now and then. A Greek drachma, rare, good condition, to be put away in my grandfather's tobacco box given to me as a child that I now use to collect and store foreign money. One of those select items that anchors an individual, reminds them that they have a history to be rekindled whenever the present is too nimble, nonchalantly escaping from the grasp, gasping to be renewed out of batteries, poor men working in factories, the breadline breeds boredom, I'd buy 6 houses if I could afford them, and live in each one. Each day of the week, and on the Sabbath I'd seek sanctuary in the hills just for thrills, run of the mill. 52 treks in the forest a year, away from the parliamentary hears, breathless, rasping lungs, walking to a painful death, unable to stub the cigarette, keep a habit like a rabbit with a carrot or a philosopher with a mallet, nailing a thesis to the wall of the church that said, "Why has my God left me in the lurch? Why have I been forsaken to consumption?" Religion is a hateful thing, tinged with fear from a frightful past, and any good that it may bring, alas, is pointless, the die is cast. Its message is criminal, that we're all born sinful. If you want to get to heaven, heed Hosanna's helping hand. The pearly gates are automatic now, no need to push or pull. But once you're there, there's no escape, all exits are manned. Or angeled, I'd assume, isn't that insane? Life is precious because it's finite, heaven has a housing crisis. You can't appreciate pleasure without any pain, and all good that extols the world is in virtue of vices. Because civilization is formed out of barbarity, and if you inoculate yourself, you're a slave to the bourgeois inclination that always affords clarity that originates in Plato's analogy of the cave. The bankers with their bread and circuses work us to our death because they've managed to shift the aberration of worship from God to gold. That's why I don't argue with these capitalist freaks, it's a waste of my breath. I won't sell myself to a system for the auctioneer to shout sold. We put pecuniary predicaments on a pedestal, pay heed to the credo of credit, live our lives by the bank book the way they used to by the Bible. I struggle against the times, aligning my gaze with Orion's blazing belt. There are no current events more interesting than those that happened in the past, because a neutron star collision that you hear about today means that light moves pretty damn fast if it's 1.3 light years away. We are the only species on the planet that lives its life by paper. Some take it so far that big business is basically a crime caper. We don't live in equilibrium with an environment like every other animal, but simply emigrate to another area when driven to distraction. There's a term for the organism that squirms from prison to prism until it's lived in every cell. They stink of its smell, and the emissions still linger after millions of years. That term is virus, and the planet cries out to Osiris, blinded by blunders and crippled by cravings of greedy groups of corporate gawkers looking for the next big fix. Quantitative easing takes a simple finger click. Instead, the nest egg grows, they bring the bacon home, the honey to the hive. I can't wait to see their faces when the revolution's live. Know yourself and let the earth be silent after ye, said the last Messiah. And that's why I'm not having kids. They'll just weigh me down like an anchor and give me no time to think or drink or distract myself silly. Go on blind dates in a scuba diving suit, recruit the very worst spies for my meaning pursuit, float about town unctuous in a pompous poncho, learn how to live life like a bedraggled honcho. Just think if our phones and cars had evolved at the same rates as schools, dialing fingers would be about as exercised as mules. Just think, don't act. In fact, don't do anything. Stay right where you are and put your hands in the air. But officer, my hands are already in the air, mingling with a hybrid nitrous fighting diadetritus, carbon, harbouring dreams of a brighter tomorrow, escaping every other second from the hole in my face. I wonder if I sealed the speaker shut with sewing or stitches, as well as my nose regardless of itches, and maybe the eyes for added effect, and put beeswax in my ears so I couldn't recollect. The sweet song of the sirens tied fast to my ship, and with my hands in the air I have nothing to grip. So swoop me off my feet, let me fly or float at least, let the weighty chains cease their lease on my mangled ankles. A hopeless bony opus with just enough flesh to dress, I confess I clothe my real thoughts in pleasantries addressed to the delectable elected who run society. In meritocracy, the richest are selected with sobriety. Their intransigence makes it impossible to admit pollution is killing the planet. Their decisions exacerbate it, damn it. Even the Paris Agreement just isn't enough. Climate change isn't just Earth's off-the-cuff bluff. We will die by the forceful hand of a dysfunctional ecosystem. When man exits stage left pursued by a bear, no one's going to miss him. We'll have no testament to tragedy except some wearisome words, left us some braver soul to discern the learned from the turds. Thank you. And Tim has told me to plug at the end. I was going to say something at the beginning, but I'm trying to create a philosophy group. It's just in its genesis at the moment. So if anyone's interested, it's going to be, all sorts of, from canon philosophy to generally philosophical questions. So if you're interested, talk to me after. Thank you.
One of the lines you quoted at the beginning, do not think it's too confusing.
Yeah.
I'd use that as advice to anyone that wants to start writing poetry. Just fucking do it. It's the easiest way. Just, stop bloody worrying about it. Do it. Try it out. Show it to some of your friends. If they go, do a different type of poetry. Don't stop.